friends, hackers, red teamers, lend me your exploits, for I have come to hack web apps. Hello, welcome to another Web App Wednesday, unfortunately happening slightly later than I had originally planned. But hopefully we can have some fun still. I see we have a few people in chat. Welcome Sharma, Dark Eldar, Compendium 66, thank you so much for the resubscription at tier 2. And you've been a subscriber for 6 months. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it. How is everyone's week going so far? I just realized I'm slightly high up in the webcam. Let me see if I can fix that. Is that better? Yeah. Much better. So we did this last week, and effectively what we're going to do is Portswigger Web Security Labs have a feature called the Mystery Lab Challenge, and you effectively get placed in a random lab and you have to solve the lab without knowing pretty much anything about it. So it's kind of challenging, it's kind of fun. Stream helps you get a job? That's amazing. What job do you get? Like pen testing, or is it web app specific? Or just offensive security in general? But well done for getting the job. Security engineer, nice. Awesome, man. Okay, let's switch across. Actually, did I start up Stream Raiders? I don't think I did, because I think it was updating. So let me just see. Oop. Take that over there. Sharma, thank you. I assume that was a congrats to me. Maybe it's some congrats to Compendium. But yes, I did get a promotion last week, which was nice. Appreciate it. Okay, we're probably going to lose this battle, but let's see if we can get some people in here with me. Oops. There we go. For those of you who are not familiar with the stream or Stream Raiders, it's a fun game. You can help out by clicking the link in chat. You can sign in with Twitch and place a unit every 5 minutes, and then in half an hour we will have a battle, which is pretty much entirely automated. But it helps distract from the stream. So I have the Mystery Lab Challenge here. We're gonna stick with apprentice level, mostly because apprentice level on Portswigger is still pretty tricky, and also because, you know, for the stream it's good to introduce people to web app security. This does mean there are a limited number of things it could be. So for instance, there aren't going to be any DOM based vulnerabilities, nothing to do with OAuth or request smuggling or server-side template injection, etc. At some point we may try a practitioner random, but I figured what we'll do, I have a list over on my right screen, which you can't see, of pretty much all the ones it could be. So what we'll do, last week we kind of, I did explore the apps a bit, but the way we went about solving them, sometimes I would just like figure out which lab it was based on the actual app itself. Hopefully this week we can just walk through the app and then maybe see if we can figure out the vulnerability on its own. So I'm going to start it up. I haven't seen the Darknet Diaries podcast. I haven't actually listened to it in a while. Okay, so I think Al was talking about it yesterday. Alright, so we're going to go to the scope in Burp Suite Pro. I'm going to use advanced scope because we are advanced people. And I'm going to paste web-security-academy.net in there. I can click no to that. That should mean that the only things appearing in our proxy are going to be related to the actual lab and not portswigger.net or anything else we have. So, we see we have a mystery challenge. There's a solution we need to submit. Some of these are automated, some of them are not. In this case, we need to submit some kind of solution. If we do get stuck, we can reveal the objective, which is not going to tell us the challenge, but it will say something like get Carlos's password or something. But for now, we're only going to do that if we get entirely stuck. So we have a blog. Notably, we do not have any form of authentication, so we can already tell this isn't going to have anything to do with authentication. It's not going to have any kind of, probably no access control. So let's view the page source. And we'll do a line wrap, and I will increase the font size. So, like I've said before, like this stuff is pretty much just related to this header. So you can generally ignore anything within this Lab Academy header thing. I think this is also just, yeah, okay. So you can ignore that. That just tells you when the lab has been solved. So we can scroll down. I'm just looking for anything kind of interesting now. So obviously we have the search functionality, which we will try. There are a number of posts, but there's no random JavaScript down here or hidden functionality. So I guess the first thing we'll do, we'll just put test in there. 2 search results for test. So we have a value in the URL being reflected back. Now, what does that immediately scream at you to try? Anyone in chat know? Injection. Yes, indeedy. What type of injection? Anyone? Code, HTML, SQL. Well, it won't be SQL injection, only because the labs here, the apprentice labs, don't have any SQL injection. HTML injection, yep, Kichi got it with code, and Bagrido also. XSS, exactly. So, yeah, a good thing for looking when you have something reflected back in the HTML of the page is obviously XSS, which is a type of injection. Let's just get that clear. I don't know quite why it's not included with most injection vulnerabilities. It is definitely injection. You are injecting into source code, right? Just because it's HTML source code doesn't mean it's not injection. So JavaScript injection or HTML injection are both valid methods of exploiting. So if we view the page source and just search for the word test, which not going to work. Here we go, test or not. That's weird. Oh, hang on. No, it's not. So, we have, this is actually quite an interesting one. We passed test as an argument, right, as a search parameter, so it's in the search parameter, and it's reflected back here, but when we go into the view source of the same page and search for test, we get that really annoying sound, which is not going to do it now, but yeah, basically saying it can't find the word test. And if we scroll down here to the actual bit, the two search results, we see that the word test has actually been replaced with this. And then you have this script here. And effectively, what this script is doing, if we read through, it creates a function. So this is JavaScript. It creates a function doSearchQuery and accepts a query parameter. And then it does document.getElements, sorry, getElement by ID, search message, .innerHTML equals query, right? This thing. So what this is doing, this is interacting with the DOM, the document object model. So document literally refers to the DOM itself. GetElement by ID is a function which searches through the DOM for any element, so an HTML element like section here, or header, where the ID is equal to search message. Which, if you look here, this span element has an ID equal to search message. Okay? So this bit of the function is just grabbing this element in the DOM. Then it says .innerHTML equals query. So in the DOM, this element has an attribute innerHTML. And innerHTML literally means, if you can see my cursor, like everything in between these span tags. So right now there's nothing there. But it's going to set the attribute to whatever the query was. Okay, what is the query? Well, in the line below, we set a variable query to new URL search params window location search .get search. What does this do? Well, quite simply, it's going to take the window.location.search, which if we go into inspect, we can run in the console. It's literally just going to be the query. You might not be able to see that. I'm not entirely sure if I can increase the font size. All it says is question mark search equals test. So it's basically the query string. It then gets the search parameter. Sorry, it passes that to URL search params, which is effectively going to create an array or a dictionary. And then it's going to get whatever the parameter called search is. And it's going to get the value, which was test. And then if the query exists, it's going to run this function. So anything we put in this effectively is going to get placed in between these span tags, right? So if I inspect that, span search message, there's the word test. So presumably, all we have to do, if we try and embed some HTML, it should work. Right. Okay. So all I did was I set the search parameter equal to basically a strike through tag with ASDF and then a strike through, ending strike through tag, and we get this. We can do pretty much anything as well. We could put a header tag if we wanted. So let's do Tiberius with an H1 tag, and then we get a nice H1 tag. I'm not sure if marquee works anymore, but it might not work in Chrome. Oh, it does. Okay. So you can put a little marquee there. But I'm guessing what this actually wants us to do is just embed some JavaScript. And so we can do that easily with the script tag. And we'll just call alert1. And that won't work. The reason why that won't work, I just remembered, is this kind of so you see it's in there, this kind of script alert. Script tags, when they are embedded like this in the DOM, don't get executed. But what we can do instead, we can bypass this. We can do a non-script tag like an image, and we can set the source equal to something non-existent. Usually the letter A is fine. When this image tag, when the browser tries to load this image tag, it's going to try and go to effectively this URL /A, which is going to give a 404, which is going to cause an error. And what you can do is you can set the onError parameter, which will execute whatever you tell it to when there's an error. So in this case, we can just do alert1 there. That should work. Yep. Okay. And we solved it. So yeah, the objective was, I don't know why, but the reveal objective button does not work when you solved it. But you can see here, this little icon is pretty much mean there's a broken image there. If I would open this image in a new tab, you can see it goes to what I told you it would go to, so the URL /A, which is obviously not found, which triggers the onError, and the onError says, oh, do an alert. And so it will. Any questions about that one? Moderately simple XSS to start things off. Quite nice. Assuming there's no questions, we'll go back and spin up another one. All right. So we have a shop now instead of a blog. Let's again look in the source code and wrap the source code. So again, we've got the lab header, which is probably nothing. And again, this is all just the header stuff. Okay, so this time we do have an account, and we have a cart, and a bunch of products. No JavaScript at the bottom. So in these labs, you have credentials, Wiener Peter, usually. So if we go here, you can log in with Wiener and Peter as the password. I don't want to save that. Okay. We have store credit. We have an email. It's probably not going to be anything. We did run into one very similar to this last time. Let's just see what happens when I add that to the cart. Alright. Okay, I think we know how to do this one. Can anyone see what is wrong with this request? Specifically this line. This is what happened when I clicked add to cart. Right, it sent this request. You're close. Yeah, it's a redirect, but it just redirects back to the product, so it's fine. But think about what this is doing. this is adding a product to your cart. Okay. It has a product ID of 1, which is fine. There's a redirected product, quantity, and Weendocs, that's how you pronounce it, has hit the nail on the head. It has this price parameter equals 133700, which, if you look back at this jacket, cost $1,337.00, which means you can pretty much work out this price is just set in cents, right? Instead of doing a decimal and setting it in dollars, they've set the price in cents, okay? So, let's go back to our cart, because we only have $100 in store credit. Okay, so let's remove this from our cart, because it's priced at $1,337. What we'll do, right click, send to repeater. So again, this is exact same request, just to add this one to our cart. Let's set it to 100 cents, $1. Redirects. Let's go back, go to our cart. Oh look, it's $1. Place the order, and we solved that. Turboed Bird, thank you for the follow. Believe it or not, way back in the days of early e-commerce, this actually happened. I kid you not. There were websites which just thought, hey, why don't we just store the price with the product? Because they assumed that if you couldn't edit a hidden field, because all this is, if we go back to Leet leather jacket, actually what I'll do, I'll show you a feature of Burp. If you go to Burp, and you can do this, I believe, in Community, proxy options, scroll down to response modification, unhide hidden form fields, and if you're feeling particularly daring, prominently highlight unhidden fields. And then let's refresh this page. We have a hidden field, product ID 1, which is what we saw. Hidden field redir, product. Hidden field price. Okay? So these are all part of a form, the hidden parameters of a form, which when you click add to cart, basically takes all their values and creates a post request, which is what we saw here. Okay? This is how most, honestly, most forms work on the web. Is you generally have a bunch of hidden parameters. If we were to view page source, scroll down here, the hidden parameters. Hang on, let me line wrap. Where are they? Here they are. Inputs. Oh, hang on, I need to turn it off. Thank you, Turbobird, for the Prime sub. Right, let me turn off unhide form fields and refresh this source code. There they are. So, input type equals hidden, which means it just won't show up on the page. You can still change the value of it. It's just hidden, right? This type's hidden, this one's hidden, this one isn't, but that's the quantity, right? You want people to be able to change the quantity here. And then the submit button is this add to cart button. How do you build against this? Very easily. So you obviously don't want to include the price tag in your request. But then how do you get the price? Well, when you're processing this request, you take the product ID and you do a simple query in the database, which says get the price of the product with product ID set to 1. And that will return, in this case, $1,337. And then you know the price. And then you can process the rest of the request and add that to the cart and calculate the actual value. Doing backend work? No way. Right. Okay. We are 2 for 2. But to be fair, we had that one last time. So let's do another one. Okay, so we know a few things here. One thing you need to remember in Web Security Academy is they will only give you a tool if you need to use it. So in this case we have an exploit server, which means we are definitely going to need to use the exploit server here. What is the exploit server? It does a few things, but effectively, well, there's an email client, so we might need to use the email client. But you can set a page, a single page, with the file name, any headers you want, and then the actual content of the page. You can store that. You can view it. If sometimes there's a button here, send to victim, which effectively forces the victim to visit the page. So it would be a bit like sending an email to the victim and then having to click a link. Access log just shows you everyone who's accessed the page. Email client shows you emails. So I'm imagining there's going to be an attack involving this. But let's have a look. Okay, so we have, again, we'll view the page source and zoom in. So again, we could pretty much always ignore this bit. Sometimes they include JavaScript up here, so you should always check after the body. But in this case, the lab header is ignorable. So yeah, we have an account page, a register page, so we might need to register an account. Product IDs, and yep, that's it. Nothing really to note there. So let's go in, let's see if our credentials work. Maybe they don't. They do not, okay? Which means we're gonna have to register. If you work for Don't Wanna Cry, please use your @Don't Wanna Cry email address. Okay. So can we... can we register? An account already exists with that username. Okay. To Tiberius. Password. Register. Okay. Check our email. We'll refresh this. Okay. Please follow the link below to confirm your email and complete registration. Let's have a look at the request that it was sent though. So this was the post register. Just username, email, password. Okay. CSRF was this. Yep, that's fine. Alright, let's open this and see what happens. Account registration was successful. Okay. Tiberius. Password. Alright. So I imagine if we register a user, so we want to register a user with using this Don't Wanna Cry email address. The only problem being we don't have a Don't Wanna Cry email address. So this may be messing with this. So Tiberius, yes. So I wonder if can we put something like that Will it do the subdomains? I think it will. And all subdomains. This is an important thing here. Displaying all emails, right, and all subdomains. Which means if we put a dot here, we should receive the email. So let's do Tiberius 2. Now what I'm hoping is this registration form is going to check for just that in the email, which obviously it appears there. But it's not actually being sent to this domain. Okay. So it did work. Refresh. And we want this one, yeah. Okay, my account. And we'll do Tiberius 2. And we don't get anything. Just noticed there's a thing in here. Can we look? So we can't look at other people's. And there's just a login page. You should probably buy something before they catch on to us. True. Alright. So I think this has to be something to do with the email. Is this gonna be... Alright, so what I want to try is doing another registration here. Actually no. Oh, let's do Streamlabs. Streamlabs? Let's do Stream Raiders while we're puzzling over this one. Let's do one there. All right, these three are maybe gonna die. The rest of us are trying to bath up there. Okay. I don't know why this guy needs 6 people going after him. Alright. I think we won. Hooray! Alright. Well done, Compendium 66. Alright, let's go... Sure, let's do a mystery battle. Alright. I'm gonna put my guy there. This is a puzzling one. What we can do is go to the Academy home, do the topics, because this may be it's not going to be server-side request forgery, maybe? Authentication vulnerabilities. Um, let's check out the login, see if we're missing anything particular. Oh, hang on. What's this? Oh no, never mind. That's just the exploit server. We don't need that. Where is the login? Here we go. It just uses username and password. Is the I wonder, is there a cookie set when you try and no. The only reason it wouldn't be a CSRF is because when you go to your exploit server, you don't have the option to deliver the payload, right? Because ultimately you need to have the, for a CSRF you need to have a user visit your site. But in this case, if we store a payload here, we don't get an option to deliver it. And generally speaking, they don't give access to the email client unless you're supposed to use it. So I am kind of so actually this might be if we go back to server-side request forgery and look up some of the techniques that they use. But again, this is supposed to be an easy, which means what were some other vulnerabilities they had? What is the link they send? It's this. We could try a host header exploit. I'm not entirely sure why it would work, but we can try, for instance, if I go to the register and we send a repeater, and she did that. Yeah. So we can try Tiberius 3, but then if we go to host here and grab but I'm not entirely sure that will work either, to be honest. Was it Don't Wanna Cry? Yeah. Nah, forbidden. I imagine it has to be, just based on this clue, we have to work out how we can trick this into thinking we've sent a message to these guys, but haven't. All right. Let's do some Googling. Email SSRF. Let's try that. Hack tricks always good. Okay. I guess we could. What we could try actually is putting a hash. Coverage 3. So if we do that, but then do this. So we're gonna have to bypass this bit. So we're gonna intercept the request. And paste that in, and then obviously do select it, Control U, forward, invalid email. Okay. Listen, I forgot my password, so it's not that. It's got to be something to do with the registration. I guess let's just see if... No. I wonder if this will work. Oops. Maybe, but I mean, I doubt it. Okay, Tiberius 3. Nope. Oh, hang on a minute. Can we just do... Oh my god, it was that. You spent all that time messing around with the registration functionality. All you need to do is change your email. We got it in the end. Delete Carlos is usually how you complete these. So, this is why you explore all functionality. So the email server was literally just to get our account activated. That was all it was. But obviously the registration note was effectively saying you need to use your @don'twannacry address if you work here. Obviously we don't have one. The SSRF effectively smuggling this @don'twannacry.com in our email did not work. But this update email form allows us just to change our email, and obviously they do not do a check to see if you actually have this email. And so I set it, and because I now have a Don't Wanna Cry email, I have access to the admin panel. Okay. Slightly trickier. You see what I mean about these not being totally obvious, even at apprentice level. Alright. Again, we have an exploit server. We have an email client. But this is a blog instead. Let's see if we have Wiener Pizza. We do. We have this forgot password. Okay. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to try here, and this is literally because we had a lab like this last time, we want to send an email probably to Carlos. But he's going to click the link in an email, right? He's going to click this password reset link, which means we need a way to get it, and the only real way of getting it is to change the domain to our one, right? Our exploit server. So if we can, actually let's check if it works. We'll do Wiener again, but we'll intercept and we'll change the host header. And forward. Okay, that worked. Yeah, that was it. You see there? Our host header was now used as part of the email, even though it wasn't valid. UID00, subscriber Prime, thank you so much. So now what we can do is we can send an email, we can put Carlos's name in there, do the same trick, go back to our, go back to our access logs, and when he clicks the link, it'll come up here with the code, and then we can just copy that and use it. Okay, so let's do that again. We will. Honestly, we don't even need to intercept. We'll just go to forgot password. Send this to repeater. We're gonna put our exploit thing in there. Carlos. Did that work? Please check your email. Obviously, nothing's going to happen because we don't have access to Carlos's emails, but hopefully he clicks the link. He did. So now we can just, and remember, when he clicks this link, right, it's not going to go to the site, it's going to go to our exploit server. So this password forget token, even if this is a one-time token, this is still valid. And so if we now use it here, we can change his password. And we go to my account. login, Carlos, password. There we go. And we solve that. The only reason that one was so quick is we literally got pretty much the same one last time. It was a host header injection. Anyone not understand what happened there? Because I understand that was quite a bit happening in a short amount of time. So I will wait for questions, and if you have any, attempt to answer them. I blinked and you finished. Yeah, like I said, we got this one last week. So that is the problem with the random thing. Could you do a quick run again? Absolutely. So let's log out. So we had an account on this one. And we found this forgot password field. Where if I put my username in it, submit, please check your email for a reset password link. If we go back to our email client, we see we get an email here, which allows us to reset our password, right? And if you reload it, yeah, okay, so I can just reset my password, and now Wiener's password has been reset. But the question is, how does it generate this URL? Okay, now sensibly, what a sensible email generation tool should do on the server is it should have a hard-coded value for the host, right? This acc blah 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 .websecurityacademy.net. It should have that hard-coded. However, this was a insecure version, and all it did was it took this value out of the host header of the request, right? So when you post to forgot password, you always have this host header set. Right? That's just how HTTP version 1.1 and onwards works. So the email took this value and put it in the email. And we can see that, so if I was to do, if I was to put Wiener here, and then put Tiberius.com in here, assuming that the CSRF is, no, okay, right. So we just need to grab a new CSRF token. Hang on a minute. We will inspect. There's the CSRF token, we can grab that and put it in here. Okay, tell you what I'll do is I will, instead of replaying it, we'll use the intercept tool. So I'm going to put Wiener in here again, submit, and all we're going to do is replace this with Tiberius.com, forward the request, turn the intercept off, we get, please check your email for a password reset link. So if I refresh my emails now, there we go. So, how can we exploit this? Well, we know it's just a general rule of these labs that if a user gets an email, they'll click any link in the email. So we need to send an email to Carlos, who is effectively usually the account we target in all of these. That's just another rule of the labs. Carlos is the guy you want to delete or get the password of. So if we enter Carlos into this field and do the exact same trick, right? So I'll turn the intercept on, but in this case, instead of doing Tiberius.com, we just grab our exploit server hostname, submit, forward. So now Carlos is going to have an email where it's going to be https exploit dash blah 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 / forgot password with his password token. Obviously that link is not going to work. He's still going to click it and it'll go to our site, except nothing will happen because obviously there's nothing there. But if we go to our access log, you can see it here. Alright, and then all you need to do is copy it and use it on the actual site as it was intended, and then you can reset Carlos's password. Any chance you would find something like that out in the wild? Yeah. Yeah, host header injection is a real thing. I wouldn't say it's common, but you'd be surprised how many times sites just use the host header instead of actually doing anything like hard coding a URL. Okay. So we have an account again. We don't have an exploit server this time. So let's try Wiener and Peter. Okay. This is interesting. Wonder if we can do a file upload. So hang on a minute. I need to find a good file to upload. Presumably a picture would be good. I must have a picture of my emoji. Maybe this one might work. File avatars Tiberius Square JPEG.jpg has been uploaded. Well, there it is. It's an Apache server. So what we can do now we can try changing. So I'm gonna grab all this, and we'll do test.jpg. Let's just put test in there. File has been uploaded. So if we go to now test.txt. Oh, sorry, not test.txt. What was it? Test.jpg. If I go to view source, test. Can we change the? Can we change to test.php? We can. So can we do PHP code? PHP info. I guess we can. So I imagine the solution has to be some kind of value. So let's take a let's make a simple shell. So we'll call this shell.php. I will show you the smallest. I believe this is the smallest possible shell you can get in PHP. So how many characters is that? I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 characters, I believe. And then if we do shell 0 equals ID, it did not work, probably because they've disabled that version. Or presumably they've disabled that way of running it. So let's try system. Okay. Echo shell exec. Oh, maybe I need the PHP. Pass through is another way of doing it. Okay. So I'm not entirely sure what they want us to grab here. I'm gonna click reveal object. I mean, we found the exploit, so I feel like that counts. I'm gonna reveal the objective. Right. Okay. Yeah, we'd never have got that. Read and submit the contents of the file. So we don't want to do any kind of actual remote command execution. So I think we can just do file get contents. I think. Send. I realize shell is now obsolete. There we go. Yep. Alright. I hope people don't think that was cheating, but it was pretty obvious we found the exploit already, which was effectively a file upload, and you could an image upload, I guess, which you could just turn to a PHP file. I should honestly just have a small file to upload. I usually do on my tests. I have like a 10 by 10 pixel file that I can upload. I don't on this machine, but maybe I should. Okay. Next one. Maybe I should do that now. Do I have GIMP on here? I think I do. Alright. File new 10 by 10, and we're going to make it black, and I'm going to save as oh, so I'm going to save as, I'm going to export. Export as 10 by 10. Export. Maybe I'll export it as a JPEG as well. And screw it, we'll do a GIF. Okay. Alright. I now have 3 small 10 by 10 images I can actually use for stuff. Right, let's do Stream Raiders though. I don't know if we're gonna win now. We'll do a something like that there. Oh, we're not even going that way. I feel like we're totally dead. Maybe not though. Stop dying, right? Ghost 53574. First time chat. Is this really your first time speaking in my stream? Oh, I have a good feeling about this one now. A lot of people died, but they were just, I guess they were weaker. Alright. Well done, Compendium 66 again, and Kichi. We are almost through. But here's the big boss, so you guys have got to come in. Alright, if you haven't been playing this, alright, I need you to really click that link, and every 5 minutes when it makes the sound, keep the window open, place your place your units. Alright, let's do this. Back to the screen. Alright, so we have the same thing again. I'm going to view the page source just in case, but no, that's nothing. So, let's go to our account again. Alright, I imagine this, maybe this is the same one. Let's go there. Add to cart. If it's the same one, we'll skip it. It's not. Look at that. There's no price. This is a different one. Good. Okay. Is it possible to add negative stuff? Can we do negative? Well, we can't in that, but can we do negative by bypassing this? Let's just say we do negative 2 now, because we already added one. Okay, no complaints. Yeah, that was another one. Okay, so again, what we're gonna do is we'll find the closest to 100 in the here. What's the closest to 100 here? Let's see. 95. There we go. So what we can do, let me go to the cart and remove this. So we need basically 13 of these, I think. Negative 13. So with this limit, you can't go below 0. However, if you just inspect it and take out this min equals 0, now you can. So we'll do 13, negative 13. Add to cart, and if we go there. Now the total is $91.99, and we can buy the jacket. Easy one. And that's a lesson in doing server-side checks, because obviously there was a client-side thing preventing you from doing this, but web apps do not care about client-side stuff. Willie Dream, thank you for the Prime resubscription. You subscribed for 2 months. Thank you so much. Yeah, so the key thing to remember with web applications that have a backend is that literally nothing on the client side prevents you from doing anything. There is client side limitations or restrictions are purely cosmetic. Or you could argue they're to stop people doing stupid stuff. Right? They're not there to stop attackers. They are there to stop people from accidentally ordering -1 of something. Right? They are not secure. Because as who was it? Was it the Missouri governor? As the people in Missouri learned, you can literally view the source code of pages. And not only that, within the browsers these days, you can change stuff. Look, I've got $8. Have I? Have I really? Or have I got $80,000? Of course, when I refresh the page, this goes back to normal. But there's nothing you can change anything here, right? You could even change, you could even change the image, right? Let's copy this image address. Click on this. Edit attribute. There we go. Looks like a leather jacket to me. You can change anything. You can even, with modern browsers, go to the let's see if we have any JavaScript. There we go, lab header JavaScript. Yeah, you could even put a breakpoint here, which means when you refresh the page, now the JavaScript is paused. Right? The entire page is paused. The JavaScript is right here. So if you've ever done debugging of the client apps, this is exactly the same. This is just with JavaScript. So you can change the JavaScript on the fly if you want. You could change whatever this lab solve variable actually gets set to right here and mess with everything. So not even JavaScript is safe these days. Alright. Refresh. Boromakot 15 invented a new word today, plagiarism? What did you do?
The password is password?
I clicked the wrong button. Oh boy. You don't see that one that often. Hey, thank you for the resubscription. What do we got here? We have an exploit server on this one. Does it have an email? No, email client, but there is a deliver exploit to victim. Alright. Okay. API key, huh? So we have presumably, oh hang on, if I go here, can I do colors? No. Hang on, does that load? That loads in via another. There you go. Get account details. So. Does this? No. So I imagine what we need to do is grab Carlos's stuff. And we can do that using our exploit set. So we can put some HTML code which has JavaScript in it, which will execute and grab this information, including the session cookie. So let's see if we can. Firstly, let's see if we can get him to visit something. So we'll create an HTML body. With a script in it. And then you can do, I believe it's, I'm not very good at JavaScript, but I think document.location .href. Yeah. So we can just do document.location .href equals, and then we will send them to exploit 2. So what we'll do, save that. We'll open the access log if I can. Oh my god, why did I press that again?
The password is password?
How am I? There we go. I do apologize. I keep hitting a button that I have configured that I shouldn't even have configured. Which I'm sure is hilarious to everybody. Alright, let's deliver the exploit to victim. We should get a hit on exploit. And then hopefully if it works, it should redirect to exploit 2, which obviously doesn't exist, but it'll still appear in the server logs. Okay. Yes. Okay. So that means we can redirect them. And now we need to have them visit a URL. So we need to extract the information from this URL. So we need to do a JavaScript HTTP request. Hey Vetros. Right, so we can do Ajax. There we go, we'll just copy this. This is just going to make this is random, so there's a randomizer mystery lab challenge, so we have to work out what it is, but I pretty much worked out that we need to steal the access token of another user by using a cross-site request forgery. Well, actually, not even, to be honest. Okay, so we do that. And now we need to change this. Console.log. We don't want console.log. What we want to do is probably just base64 encode it. So forget the JavaScript base64 encode. It's probably something really easy. BTOA takes a string and encodes it. Nice, that's what we need. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to grab it. We're going to exploit 2. We'll just do A equals, and then do a plus BTOA. And what was the thing? HTTP.response text. And a semicolon. This should work. And the reason I'm sending it to exploit 2 is so that it doesn't get redirected back here again and just do an infinite loop. So let's refresh. Okay. So that failed. Can we do it to ourselves? We can't actually view the exploit. Which is here. Oops. So we can see what's going on if we open the inspect and go to console. Well, we can see what happened in here. Unauthorized. Okay. There's a way to attach cookies, isn't there? Hang on a minute. XML. Request use cookies with credentials. Okay, so that's all we need to do, I think. So do HTTP dot with credentials equals true. We'll store that, and again we'll do it with ourselves. We'll do it with our own account first. Over here. That worked. Here we go. So now if we copy this base64 encoded string, go to hackverso, paste it, go to decode base64, yay! Alright, so now if we go to deliver exploit to victim, refresh this, scroll all the way to the bottom, there we go. That looks like his. So now if we do this, we have the administrator actually, so we can just switch out our session. Okay. Inspect. Application, cookies. This might not work. Yeah. Edit value. We can just do this. Is that what I did? Yeah. That should work. Maybe not. It's really weird. Tell you what I'll do is I'll just intercept the response. I assume the response is gonna... Yeah, okay. Intercept server responses. Okay, log in. We'll trash this cookie. Okay, we don't need to trash the cookie. So we need to... Alright, forward that. There we go. Set this cushion. Set the cookie. There we go. Alright, that was easier. Admin panel. don't we have an admin panel? That's... Do we just have to submit that? Is that the answer? It is, okay. We didn't even have to log in as them, we just needed the API key. Oh well. We did a bit further. We exploited the session as well. Any questions about how we did that? Good. All right, we'll do a few more. All right, apprentice level. Okay, so we have a submit solution. We have account. It's a blog. Okay, so we got an API key here as well. Ah, we have an okay, so we have an ID which is a UUID up here, which is interesting. So that's different. So let's have a look at the blog. Right. All right, this one's going to be easy as well. Again, my apologies, but I've done these before. So if you hover over Carlos, you get, you can actually click on him and you'll see all the blog posts that belong to him. But you also see his user ID. And so I presume if we copy Carlos's user ID out the URL and just paste it here. Yep. That is an IDOR, effectively. Insecure Direct Object Reference. Thanks, guy. Hey, Debrius, just wanted to hop in and say you rock. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope people are enjoying the stream and learning stuff. So yeah, this is like, I guess, a lesson in insecure direct object references. So obviously, usually with the ID, it was like it was Wiener, right? And that's obviously a bad ID to use because that's guessable, right? You could easily just change that to Carlos, and that would work. However, a lot of people think that if you replace the ID, the identifier, with something random and complicated, that solves the problem. It does not, because ultimately this is a static value, and you may think it's never used anywhere else, but there's always the risk that it will be. So you can generally enumerate stuff like this, which is why I never recommend. Well, I should say we always recommend that UIDs are used in place of numeric IDs, or like words like Wiener and Peter, like usernames. If you're developing an application, definitely use UIDs for everything. However, don't assume that they are secure, because they're not. They're not a security feature. They're just a way of preventing, I guess, preventing enumeration as like a backup. But they should never be your first line of defense. They should be your last line of defense. The first line of defense should be actually properly implementing access control. Right. Okay, let's go again. Alright, we've got another... I know, Portswigger Academy is amazing and free as well, so it's all good. Alright, let's try this. See if this is the same one as before. Yep. Alright, we'll skip this one. So, for those of you watching who weren't here earlier, when you add a product to your cart in this one, it sends the price as well, and you can just change that on the fly. You know what? Screw it. We'll do it again. It's very easy. I'm going to remove the product. I am going to go to intercept. I'm actually going to turn off the intercept responses. Intercept on. So we only have... Oops. I should log in first. So if we log into our account, we only have $100 store credit, and we want to buy this elite leather jacket, which is $1,337. If we turn the intercept on and click add to cart, and then adjust the price to 100 cents, the price is in cents, so it'll be $1. And go back to here. Now it's $1, and we can buy it. Easy enough. Alright, we'll do another one. Alright. We have a blog. We have a search. Let's see if the search... Okay, let's see if the search allows HTML. It doesn't allow HTML there. However, it's reflected in here as well. So let's try to break out.
Incoming raid.
Jelly? Cerex Jelly, rating a party of 17. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay, let's view the page source. Alright, so we were actually able to break out of this attribute. But obviously we can't break out of the element, so we need to execute... This is going to be XSS. We need a way to execute XSS within an input tag without getting out of the input tag. Does anyone know how you can do that? Let's see if chat has any ideas. Because I know the answer. And again, this may have been one we did last week as well. But we'll see. Thank you, Joy94, for the follow. Thank you, Namia, for the follow. We'll go back. Fizeth, Ragnarok9401, MDeep. Say again. Okay. We cannot escape out of the HTML tag. Okay. We can escape out of the attribute. So the question is, how do we get cross-site scripting? I.e., how can we run JavaScript without being able to break out of the input tag, but we can create new attributes? And that's pretty much it. How can we execute JavaScript? Does anyone know? In between the quotes? What do we put in between the quotes then? onload. I never actually checked if onload would work. I believe onload doesn't work for input tags, but it might. So let's try it. Alert 1. No. So alert onload, I believe generally. Actually, we'll Google it. JavaScript onload. The onload event. I mean, W3 schools is pretty crap, but they're generally correct in these simple things. When object has been loaded, so the body element, yeah. Input has on focus, yes. The radar has come through. On focus. So if I change this onload to focus, and I actually set an equals, so deleting it. Now, what does focus mean? It means clicking in it, basically. But this wants us to do it automatically. So the easiest way to do it automatically is to set autofocus. And if we set autofocus, it automatically will focus. See this awful stuff. Alright, now if I just go to search, we solve a lab. So, autofocus. Let me actually show you what I did in here. On focus. Autofocus equals. Okay, if we go down to autofocus, here we go. So this line here. The onFocus attribute will execute alert 1 when this input has focus, which effectively means when the cursor is inside it. Autofocus is a special attribute. You are only legally, by the spec, allowed to add it to one element in the entire document. If it's on 2, I believe it defaults mostly to the first one. Because obviously you can't autofocus on 2 things at the same time. So it'll generally go to the first one. There is no autofocus anywhere else on this page, so we can use it. And all it does is it effectively loads the page, and then the browser places the cursor in this input. Right? Which then obviously triggers the onFocus. And you don't have to set it to anything, so I've just set it to empty string. You could literally just, if you have the space for it, you can just include the word autofocus. It doesn't have to be set. It doesn't even have to be an equal sign. It should still work. Actually, to try that out, let me just do a equals. Because I believe it works. Yeah. Okay. So in this case, all I did was see autofocus is just there on its own. It's its own little attribute. It has nothing set to it. I've just set A to something, but it still works. All right, we'll close that one. Oh, the battle's ready. I didn't even see. Let's go. Alright, it looks like we're against this enemy, so I guess we'll put it there. Well, we got quite a crowd. 41 against 5. However, I imagine they're pretty powerful. Maybe not. Nice. Ghost 53574 killed the demon princess. Well done, Compendium 66 and Lil Didi. boss was defeated. Alright, we start again. Nicely done. You know what? I'm gonna switch from the archer to let's use musketeer. Screw it. Autofocus a JS function? No, autofocus is a browser function. It's just a weird HTML thing. Has anyone taken the Portswigger exam? I got their, I think it was their Black Friday deal. I haven't taken it yet. I know a few people who are really good at web app stuff, and they've taken it and failed. As far as I'm aware, it's extremely tough. Probably because you only get 3 hours. I think it's 3 hours for 3 exploits. But yeah, it's a tough exam. Okay, what we got here? We'll go to my account. We'll log in as Wiener Pizza again. Oh, this is going to be the same one as before, isn't it? Oh no, actually it's not. Yeah, it is. Alright. It's literally going to be Carlos. Or administrator. Right. Okay. Maybe it's Carlos then? That's Wieners. Is it just this? Yep. It was that one again. We did that one. Let's spin again. Maybe next week we'll try a practitioner level one, although I imagine those are going to be pretty tough. Alright, what's this one? Okay, so this looks like a new one. Oh, but I know what this one is. This is XXE. No, this is good. This is server-side request forgery. Okay, so this is stock API sending a request. So can we just change? We just take that off. Could we just grab this? This lab is not accessible over HTTP. HTTPS then. Okay. Yeah, Jelly, you can post links as long as they're not like advertising and stuff. Alright, is there like an admin page? Admin interface only available if logged in as administrator. Or if requested from loopback. Okay. So I imagine this is going to be X forwarded for 127001. localhost. Okay, we can go. There's a few ones we can try. Reload bypass WAF. We can try these. Set configuration. Did that actually work? No. Alright, let's turn off the stupid bypass WAF and just go to the extender page for it, which I believe lists them all anyway. Yeah. Alright, let's try this. Just copy these. Go to... This might even be the right thing we need to get. Right, it's not. Okay. I wonder if we can just see what's at the root page, maybe. Missing parameter. Is there anything there? Anything there? Anything at localhost? Maybe just HTTP localhost. Ah, there we go. /admin. Yep. And I presume we need to delete colors. All right. I kind of speed run that one. So let me complete it at least, and we solved it. Okay, so we found this request when checking stock. So when we go to the stock and we click check stock here, it sends this request where you have a stock API parameter set to an encoded URL. You can, if you look over to the chat's in the way, but there we go. This is the URL it's going to, right? So presumably, if you change product ID to 2 and send that, we get a different result. But there's no reason why you couldn't just modify this, right? Missing parameter. Okay, if we go all the way back up, we do this. Missing parameter. So when you're dealing with SSRF, you can try exploring things at the back end. So a good thing to look for is just copy the URL of the current site and see if it loads differently from the back end. Which this one says it needs HTTPS. I don't know why I haven't. There we go. HTTPS there. So we send that. It does indeed load the entire site. However, it looks like we're logged out. Yeah. So the other things you can try are IP addresses, right? So if we send that, we get an internal server error. We try localhost. We get another one. But if we try again, just basically SSRF is just trying a bunch of combinations. So we tried HTTPS with localhost and 127.0.0.1. Let's try HTTP with localhost, and this time you get the page again. right? Except now you have this admin access. So it looks like if you browse to localhost from inside the network, right, you don't need authentication to access the admin panel, which is really stupid, but it is how it is what it is. And then you can just delete users, which is how we solved it. Any questions on that one? That's probably all I'll do for tonight. But I will happily answer questions if you have them. You know what, while we wait, I will start stream Raiders early. Alright. UAD, thanks for stream. Yeah, welcome. I'm trying to stream every Wednesday now. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. 2 weeks in a row we've done pretty much just random Web Security Academy stuff. I think it's worked out pretty good. We might get killed here. But yeah. We did. Whatever. We will do this again on Friday. I may stream tomorrow evening. Probably, if I do stream tomorrow evening, it'll be after our Hazard stream. But we'll see. I will definitely stream on Friday, which will be Frustration Friday. We will do a hard box, probably on Try Hack Me. Yeah. Otherwise, if there are no questions about the SSRF we just did, we will leave it at that. Let's find someone to raid, though. Oops. Who is online? Oh, Taggart's online. How long has he been streaming? I just want to make sure we're not... he's been streaming an hour and a half. But I imagine he's still going. Alright. We will raid MT Taggart. Okay. I will flash up my social stuff. Please follow me on Twitter, join the Discord server, subscribe to my YouTube channel where I upload these streams after I've edited them a little bit. And yeah, please follow me on Twitch if you are not already. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you can give me a subscription. They all help towards producing content for you guys. So they're very much appreciated. But until next time, I hope everyone has a great rest of the week, and let's raid MT Taggart.